guys, John from Eastern Hot Rodder. We've been getting a lot of good responses out of the slot car videos we put on, and I didn't think that they were going to take off like they did, so I'm going to give you a little fill-in on stuff we've done since I posted those last ones. First, we're going to take a look at the pit box I made. This is an old doll box we bought at a swap meet for like $5 a couple years ago. It was just kind of a neat one. What I liked about it is it has a Holland sticker and a Hawaii sticker, and there's like a elephant sticker on the back side of it that just kind of reminded me of my grandmother. She went to Hawaii, she was from Holland, so it's just kind of neat that it came in that way. Neat old New York Central station, and that's where my grandmother lived. So not New York Central, but up in New York. So I modified this box to be our pit box. So I made this tray to hold a couple cars, cut the groove in, and a little storage area there, and I made it so I have enough room for bigger cars. And then that moves over and drops down into here. And you can see you got room for 2 more cars here. Controller fits in there, and tools and stuff like that. So it's a good, handy little box for 4 cars. The other thing I want to show you today, you guys all saw the Wild One. That was the first car I built. Since then, I got another chassis because you can't have just one. And I built a couple different cars to fit that same chassis. So the first one is this guy here. It's the Studebaker. That's based on a kit called Miss Deal, which I didn't like the name of it, so I kind of changed it up. We changed it to Misled using the same decals, which actually worked out perfect because it looks patinaed, and that was not my original goal, so it's kind of a little misleading in that. You know, it was originally a light blue car. I sprayed it yellow. The yellow ran terrible. It was a bad can of paint, so I went over it with gold, and that looked worse. And then I wiped it off with lacquer thinner, and it gave it this cool patina look. And I kind of liked it. I showed my wife; she liked it too. So I went with it. These stripes, they were hoods or stripes for a surfboard kit for the station wagon here. I just painted up and did some stuff. But we did kind of the same thing we did with the Wild One. Took the chassis. This is a Boss chassis from Mid-America, kind of very similar to a Pharma chassis, and raised the center floor up to fit the chassis and clear the motor and stuff. So it locates pretty good. You can see it fits on there pretty good. I had to section the seat because when the floor came up, the seat started to get close, and this is a center steer car. But the thing I really wanted to show you is how this body mounts on and how we were able to make it work with another body. So if you want to change it up and go from altered wheelbase car to more traditional. So the 2 pins pin the body down in the back, and this one just clips on the front. So I retained the stock front axle. I just flipped it upside down for the clearance I needed and mounted the tires right to that. I had to extend the headers. I used the exhaust from this Nova kit model here. I used the exhaust pipes from it to extend the headers out to get the zoomies to come outside the body again. And this is the fender well, part of the fender well from inside that Nova body. So that hooks onto this wire right here. And so it clips in from the front like this, and then the back drops down and you pin it. So then you got yourself a nice little altered wheelbase, nose high stance, 53 Studebaker with a blown Hemi. So I like this body. This came out better than I expected. I always kind of wanted to build this kit. I've seen it before, and I thought it was kind of neat, but it was never on the top of my list to do. So my buddy Keith, thanks Keith for passing this on to us, and we built that. And you can see how we raised the floor up and everything here, had clearance to wheel wells to fit the tires. These are a meatier tire than what's on the Wild One. And then this car, same thing, raised the floor up. Another inner fender well with another piece of tree. This time I mounted the front tires using the mufflers from this car, and then just used part of one of the trees to make an axle that would hold it across and give me a place to mount that. So this one here, the body clips in on the front this way and drops down. It'll pin on the rear. And then when you put the pins in, gives it a cool little Pro Street Nova with a pretty nasty rake, real nose down rake. These cars have not run yet. I did run this one before it was finished just to kind of make sure it went straight down the track. It did, but it was the front tires actually, because the front of the body wasn't mounted, the front tires hit the track, so it was like having the brakes on the whole way down the track. So I can't wait to get this out and run it again. But there's that one. You can set that down in the groove. You can see how the tires are just off the ground so they don't touch. And we did not pin the back here. This will actually be up like that when it's set. So it gives it a pretty aggressive Pro Street style stance. And again, we unhook this body and come back in and hook this one on front, drop down the back, and that one sits a little higher, but right about there. You know, once the pins are in, it's a little higher. So there you have it. This is a way to take a relatively inexpensive chassis. This chassis kit is $80 when you buy it, and it comes with the front wheels and axles and everything like that. I just use mechanics wire for the body hook. Did not use the front wheels because the wheelbase changes on all these cars. So you can see these guys, they're off by quite a bit. You know, so you would not be able to just swap the bodies if you had the front tires permanently mounted onto the chassis like this guy is. So I might go back in and mount this one a little different so I can switch a body onto this one. This is a much narrower tire. So I have a 66 Mustang body that would fit these tires better than these fat tires. And, you know, really, we come in here and using the same idea, make this one into a slot car, which eventually I'm going to do. Not sure exactly if I'll build my own chassis for it or just modify one of these guys. But there you have it, guys. Just want to show you a nice, easy way where you can take one chassis, fit multiple bodies on it, and take it to the track and have fun. Change them up, and you know, if you're feeling like a muscle car night, then the Nova body's the way to go. If you're feeling like the old nose up gasser, funny car altered wheelbase stuff, then the Studebaker gets mounted to the same chassis. So it saves cost. You're not buying an $80 chassis all the time. You're just dealing with the plastic models, and that's it. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.